to him. Don't even know if he survived through, through the siege.
Okay. And one other piece here. Let's see. When I guess at Phuket, where there was an orphanage, there was also a prison camp.
Oh, in Pleiku.
That was Pleiku. Okay.
There were a couple orphanages we worked with, but there was one in Pleiku, and right next to the orphanage there was a POW camp. And one night they attacked the POW camp and tried to get their people freed. Nobody'd leave. A couple nights later, there was another attack, except they mortared the POW camp, and we were afraid because we were, you're based and you're looking out, and it's a couple miles away, and thought they were hitting the orphanage. We were afraid they were going to hit. Well, when you play with mortars, you always joke, it's one over, one under, and you bracket it, and then you hit it, and it's crazier than artillery because, well, the mortars move around. And unless it's danger close, you don't normally start way out and walk it in. And they didn't touch the orphanage. I don't know how or why, or if it was intentional, or just flat dumb luck, but they didn't touch the orphanage. But that was strange. I mean, they attacked the POW camp, they got inside, and they couldn't get their own people to run away. So much for prisoner of war camp and your ideas of stuff like that.
Right.
They wouldn't leave.
And not necessarily dedicated to the communist revolution either at that point.
I don't know. I mentioned earlier that since then I've taken a number of college classes in Far East history and other stuff, and I do believe that our government read the thing entirely wrong. I don't think it had, anyway, for the little guy fighting. If you talk to North and South, the old story is the Northerner asks the Southerner, what are you fighting for? Because most of the guys from the South that fought in the Civil War, barefoot and poor, and they didn't own any slaves. He says, I'm fighting for my rats. He says, I'm fighting because you're down here. And I think most of the Vietnamese didn't understand what the war was about any more than the Americans. I didn't. And I think most of them were fighting because of home or whatever. I know the Vietnamese that were fighting on the south side, that were up where I'm at, were there predominantly because the judge gave them an opportunity to go to war or go to jail. And I know the ones that my brother-in-law fought with down around Saigon, they lived down there in family, and we're talking full-time soldiers yet though. And he said they were very good, and the ones I was fighting with, that I was dealing with for the most part up around Pleiku, were not. Same war, same people. I think most of the Vietnamese were fighting for unification, and they wanted Vietnam together, one Vietnam. They didn't want French rule, they didn't want American rule, they didn't want any help, they wanted self-rule, they wanted, this is our country, leave us alone. And I think that's what they were, and I think that's probably part of what went on here. You're talking about being dedicated to communism. I don't think they could tell you what communist was, much less spell it.
Okay.